Chapter 3254. Lu Ming did not hesitate to make his move when the 100 armored soldiers entered the trap. He started to form seals with both hands. Suddenly, 13 array flags appeared in a corner. The array flags shone brightly. Runes intertwined and formed light swords. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The light swords flew out at an astonishing speed. Swoosh, swoosh. Blood splattered everywhere. In an instant, 5 armored soldiers had their heads cut off and died on the spot. "Be careful!" a deputy general roared, and all the armored soldiers set up defenses around their bodies. However, Lu Ming continued to form seals with both hands. Array discs and array flags appeared from all directions. These array discs and array flags formed different kinds of arrays. Some arrays were used to trap the enemy. They flew out like chains and entangled the armored soldiers. Some arrays were used to confuse the enemy. They formed all kinds of illusory attacks and combined with the real attacks. It was impossible to defend against them. Miserable cries rang out one after another as the armored soldiers were killed one after another. Those below the 7th layer of the King God realm would not be able to withstand the attacks of the array flags and arrays. Only those above the 7th layer of the King God realm would be able to withstand them. "Despicable bastards!" roared a few deputy generals. They were all peak King God realm cultivators. With a wave of their hands, they could release an unparalleled power that shook the mine. The mine was strange. It was extremely hard. If a peak King God realm cultivator attacked with his full strength, he could even destroy a planet. However, in this mine, he could only cause the mine to shake. With a wave of their hands, they destroyed the array flags and array discs. The armored soldiers who were above the 7th layer of the King God realm did the same. They blocked the attacks from all directions. "Child's play, be destroyed!" a deputy general shouted coldly and flicked his finger. Terrifying finger beams flew out and bombarded the formation flags and discs. Array flags and array discs exploded one after another. "Have a taste of this." Lu Ming grabbed a bunch of talismans in his hands and threw them all out. These talismans were all 9 Serenities lightning talismans. They were extremely powerful. Boom, boom, boom. A large number of 9 Serenities thunder runes exploded, turning into rolling black thunderbolts that struck at all the armored soldiers. Instantly, some of the 7th sky of King God realm soldiers were hit by the explosion. They were severely wounded. Only those above the 8th King God realm could withstand it. "Brat, I found you!" a deputy general roared and charged towards Lu Ming. When Lu Ming threw the talisman, he was discovered. As soon as this deputy general rushed out, the other experts also rushed out. However, Lu Ming's expression was very calm. When he threw out the talisman just now, he was automatically exposed. "Explode, explode," Lu Ming whispered when these experts had rushed a certain distance away. Then a few rumbling sounds rang out. On both sides of the mine, there were 2 piles of mud with runes floating above them. The Black Cloud Army experts had not noticed them at all. The talisman seal exploded and mud splattered everywhere. Every drop of mud exuded a terrifying killing intent that was countless times more terrifying than a bullet. Before the experts of the Black Cloud Army could react, their bodies had turned into sieves. The same went for the other deputy generals. As for Lu Ming, he had chosen the location beforehand. It was a blind spot, so naturally he was not afraid. The experts of the Black Jade Army roared. Their bodies were being corroded rapidly. Some of the weaker ones died within a few breaths. Only 3 deputy generals were still trying their best to fight back. They wanted to retreat. "Since you're here, then don't leave," Lu Ming said coldly. He rushed out and thrust his long spear at the deputy generals. "Brat, son of a bitch, I'll kill you!" The 3 deputy generals roared and charged towards Lu Ming. However, they were severely wounded. The mud was filled with terrifying killing intent. It was constantly corroding their bodies and devouring their vitality. Their strength was greatly reduced and they could not use much of their strength. Bam! The long spear pressed down and one of the deputy generals exploded. He died on the spot. Then, the long spear swept across and killed the other 2 deputy generals. Another 3 peak Divine King Realm experts fell. They died aggrieved deaths. Such people in the Jianghu Heavenly King Mansion would be the family leader of a big family. But now, they were slaughtered by Lu Ming like sheep. With the death of the 3 deputy generals, more than 100 Black Jade Army soldiers were annihilated. Lu Ming's body flashed and he kept all the storage rings of the Black Cloud Army. He then pondered. The other party would most likely send more experts in. Peak Divine King Realm experts were still manageable. If they sent Divine Lord Realm experts, it would be troublesome. The power of this mud is terrifying. It would be great if I could use it properly. Lu Ming's gaze landed on the few puddles of mud. Although the runes had exploded a few times, only a corner of it was blown off. There were still many remnants. If this mud is attached to the divine weapon, then the divine weapon can become a great killing weapon. Thinking of this, Lu Ming took out a combat sword and controlled it to fly towards the mud. He then flew into the mud and wanted to get some mud on the sword. However, when the combat sword flew into the mud, the divine weapon was like ice meeting fire. It softened and turned into a pool of molten iron in a few breaths. So terrifying, Lu Ming frowned. He took out the combat sword from a deputy general's storage ring. It was a rank 9 divine weapon and was meant for peak divine kings. However, it melted. Lu Ming's heart ached. It would be great to give it to Chiu Chiu. It was gone just like that. Lad, this mud is definitely formed after the death of a terrifying expert. It contains the terrifying killing intent of those experts before they died. Every bit of mud contains terrifying power. Ordinary divine weapons can't withstand it. Guillemot explained. What should I do? Oh yeah, the purple copper coffin? Lu Ming suddenly thought of the purple copper coffin. The origin of the purple copper coffin was unimaginable and mysterious. The material of the purple copper coffin was even more unpredictable. Anyway, no matter what Lu Ming did, he couldn't leave a mark on the purple copper coffin. Even Chiu Chiu would only break its teeth if it wanted to bite the purple copper coffin. Given the purple copper coffin's material, it should be able to withstand the mud. Let's give it a try. Now that it was a matter of life and death, Lu Ming couldn't be bothered. He took out the purple copper coffin from the Jianghu painting scroll. Lu Ming grabbed one end of the purple copper coffin. The purple copper coffin was extremely heavy. When Lu Ming first obtained it, he couldn't lift it at all. However, Lu Ming's strength had increased exponentially. He didn't have any problem lifting the purple copper coffin. Lu Ming grabbed one end of the purple copper coffin and placed the other end into the mud pile, submerging half of the purple copper coffin. Chapter 3255. After a while, Lu Ming took out the purple copper coffin. He found that the purple copper coffin was covered in mud, but it was completely fine. It's fine. It's fine. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The purple copper coffin was covered in mud and could definitely be a great killing weapon. Alright, I'll give you a surprise later. Lu Ming sneered. Then he took out some seals and threw them at the mud, causing them to float above the mud. After making some arrangements, Lu Ming found a place to hide and continued to wait. Outside the mine, Biqua's face was extremely gloomy. Previously, they could still hear the violent rumbling in the mine, but after a while, all the sounds disappeared. Then, no one came out. It was eerily quiet. It was as if those people had disappeared. Many people were horrified. In their eyes, the mine was like a terrifying giant beast that was devouring all life. Anyone who went in would be devoured. That kid should have died in there too. A deputy general said with a trembling voice. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. Biqua said coldly. Many people's faces were ugly. They did not dare to look at Biqua for fear that he would call them out. Let me go in. At this moment, a white-haired old man said. Many people's eyes lit up. This old man was a deputy general of the Black Cloud Army. The deputy general was second only to the general, Biqua. He was also a Divine Lord expert. In the Black Jade Army, Biqua was not the only Divine Lord expert. All of you follow me in. The deputy general looked at some people. These people's faces changed slightly, but they still did not dare to disobey the order. In the Taishu dynasty, military orders were like mountains. Disobeying orders would be treated as treason and would only lead to death. However, with a Divine Lord expert going in with them, they were much more courageous. This time, with the Deputy General in the lead, more than 100 Black Jade Army soldiers entered the mine. They moved forward carefully. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army set up a layer of defense in front of him. His spiritual sense swept out like a storm and found Lu Ming immediately. That kid is there. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army looked at the place where Lu Ming was hiding. The other members of the Black Jade Army sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming was still alive. Then where did the Black Jade Army go? How could it disappear without a trace? They felt a chill in their hearts. Humph, no matter what method he uses, only death awaits him. Follow me closely, the Deputy General of the Black Jade Army said coldly. He slowly walked forward towards the place where Lu Ming was hiding. The other members of the Black Jade Army followed closely behind. They all set up heavy defenses and were on high alert. Brat, come out and surrender yourself. I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army said coldly. Old man, come and catch me if you can. I'm right here. Come on. Lu Ming provoked. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army was filled with killing intent. However, he didn't dare to be careless. He looked around and listened carefully as he slowly approached Lu Ming. The spiritual sense of a Divine Lord realm expert was very sharp. He felt a sense of danger shrouding him. Brat, I'll take you down later. I'll make sure you die a horrible death. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army shouted coldly. He waved his hand and a few more divine artifacts appeared around him, surrounding him. Kill. Then he shouted coldly and was about to attack Lu Ming. Explode, explode. At this moment, Lu Ming shouted in a low voice. Boom boom, the runes floating above the mud exploded. Suddenly, the mud splattered everywhere. Although the Black Jade Army had set up heavy defenses around their bodies, these defenses couldn't withstand a single blow. As the mud flew past, all the defenses were penetrated. Then, their bodies were also penetrated. Ah, the screams were heard. Many people's bodies were rapidly decaying. They finally knew why those people had disappeared. It was because of the mud. One after another, the Black Jade Army turned into skeletons and died here. Damn it! The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army roared. As a Divine Lord realm expert, he had set up heavy defenses earlier, so he wasn't so miserable. Although some of his defenses were penetrated, only a few drops of mud splashed on his body. However, it didn't penetrate his body. A Divine Lord realm existence's divine body would undergo a qualitative change after a transformation. It was very terrifying and not something a Divine King realm existence could compare with. When the mud splashed on his body, it only corroded a few big holes. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army roared. He took out a sharp knife and cut off the corroded flesh. However, the mud was like a bone drill. It was difficult to remove. The places that were cut off were still corroding. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army could only circulate his divine power to resist. Brat, I'm going to cut you into pieces and make you suffer so much that you'll wish you were dead. The Deputy General of the Black Jade Army roared and charged towards Lu Ming. A terrifying knife light slashed towards Lu Ming. A Divine Lord realm expert is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. However, he could only brace himself for the moment. He rushed out, lifted the purple copper coffin and smashed it towards the Deputy General of the Black Jade Army. Clang. The knife light of the Deputy General of the Black Jade Army slashed on the purple copper coffin and a violent explosion erupted. Bang! Lu Ming felt a terrifying force bombarding the purple copper coffin. Then, it moved along the purple copper coffin and blasted towards him. The bones in Lu Ming's hands were instantly broken. The purple copper coffin hit Lu Ming's chest and the sound of bones breaking could be heard. Lu Ming's body retreated rapidly and heavily smashed into the wall of the mine. He vomited a large mouthful of blood and was severely injured. A Divine Lord realm expert was too strong. If he hadn't used most of his divine power to resist the corrosive power of the mud, Lu Ming would have been blown apart. However, although Lu Ming was miserable, The deputy general of the Black Cloud Army was even more miserable. The battle knife slashed on the purple copper coffin. The mud stuck on the purple copper coffin flew towards him due to inertia. This move was completely out of the Black Jade Army's deputy general's expectations. Therefore, he wasn't prepared and was instantly splashed with mud. Ah! The deputy general of the Black Jade Army let out a deafening roar. His entire body was being corroded and was beyond recognition. It was a tragic sight. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. He didn't care about his injuries and swung the purple copper coffin towards the deputy general of the Black Jade Army. The deputy general of the Black Jade Army instinctively raised his palm to block. When his palm hit the purple copper coffin, it was equivalent to hitting the mud. Suddenly, his palm burst open. There was no flesh and blood, only bones were left. Ah! The deputy general of the Black Jade Army roared. He turned around and fled towards the outside of the mine. At this moment, the other members of the Black Jade Army were all dead. A few Divine King Realm experts were originally rushing towards the outside of the mine. However, before they could get out of the mine, they were corroded into skeletons. Chapter 3256. Outside the mine, Biqua and the others were waiting, but not long after, they heard shrill screams coming from the mine, as if they had encountered something terrifying. W? Wayna? Kameni people shuddered, and a chill rose from the soles of their feet. One by one, they revealed a look of horror. What's in there? Many people's teeth were chattering. That kid is most likely dead. There were others who spoke, sounding the retreat drum, wishing to leave this place. Biqua's face was gloomy. He had no intention of leaving. Lu Ming was related to whether he could be transferred to the Imperial Guard or not. It was related to his future. He could not give up. Suddenly, a figure rushed out. It was the deputy general from before. It's Deputy General Sun, someone exclaimed. When everyone saw Deputy General Sun's miserable state, they all gasped and shivered. Miserable, too miserable. Deputy General Sun's face was completely unrecognizable. His body was riddled with holes. It was too miserable. Deputy General Sun was a Divine Lord realm existence. For a Divine Lord to end up in such a state, the mine was just too terrifying. Biqua shouted. Divine power surged out of his body and poured into Deputy General Sun's body to help him resist the corrosive power. On the side, there were a few other deputy generals who also took action to help Deputy General Sun resist. After a while, the joint efforts of several Divine Lord experts finally blocked the corrosive power and forced it out of Deputy General Sun's body. Deputy General Sun's body began to wriggle, and the injuries that were riddled with holes immediately healed. A Divine Lord expert's vitality was extremely tenacious. Naturally, he would not die so easily. Deputy General Sun, what happened inside? Is that brat dead? Biqua asked with a cold face. As for the Black Jade Army that entered and never came out, he was too lazy to care. He did not care about those who died at all. He's not dead. That kid is not dead, Deputy General Sun said. Everyone's face changed drastically. So many experts of the Black Jade Army had died, but that kid was still alive? How was that possible? What's going on? What did you encounter inside? Don't ask. It's like this. Immediately, Deputy General Sun explained the situation inside the room. That brat relied on that kind of mud to kill so many of us. That kind of mud should be the flesh and blood of top experts after they died. We didn't pay attention before, so we fell into his trap. Deputy General Sun said, his eyes extremely cold. Lu Ming actually made him so miserable. He wished he could chop Lu Ming into pieces. So that's how it is. Can a Monarch-level divine weapon withstand that kind of mud? Don't ask. With a few Monarch-grade divine artifacts, we should be able to block it. The purple copper coffin in that kid's hand is also stained with mud. As long as we are careful and block off a wave of mud attack, that kid is nothing to be afraid of. We can kill him with a flip of our hand. Deputy General Sun said. All right, this time I will go in personally. All of you, come with me. Biqua said. After figuring out Lu Ming's trick, he finally decided to go in personally. At the same time, he called a few deputies and some existences above the 7th layer of the King God realm. This time, he had to kill Lu Ming and at the same time, investigate the mine cave thoroughly. Some top experts had died and turned into meat paste. They guessed that the mine was extraordinary and there might be opportunities inside. In the end, a group of dozens of people, all of whom were top experts of the Black Jade Army, entered the mine together. A few divine artifacts floated around them. These divine artifacts were monarch-grade divine artifacts, which were better than supreme-grade divine artifacts. They moved forward carefully and arrived at the place where Deputy General Sun and the others had been attacked. However, they didn't see Lu Ming. Did that brat enter the depths of the mine? Deputy General Sun asked. He also followed in. He had to kill Lu Ming with his own hands to relieve the hatred in his heart. Deputy General Sun's guess was right. Lu Ming had indeed entered the depths of the mine. After Deputy General Sun escaped, Lu Ming frowned. A Divine Lord Realm expert is indeed powerful. Even with this mud, I can't kill him. Moreover, my trick has been exposed. If a few Divine Lords come in, I will definitely die. Lu Ming muttered to himself as he tried to think of a solution. In the end, he decided to enter the depths of the mine. This mine was extraordinary and strange. He might find a chance to turn the situation around if he entered the depths of the mine. Before he left, he put away all the storage rings of the Black Jade Army. Then, he put some mud on one end of the purple copper coffin. After that, he put the purple copper coffin into the Jianghu painting scroll. After he was ready, Lu Ming went into the depths of the mine. Lu Ming was very careful. This mine was strange and who knew what dangers there might be. Moreover, he had Guimo the old fox. Under Guimo's guidance, he avoided a few dangerous places and slowly went into the depths of the mine. The deeper he went, the thicker the yin qi became. Moreover, there was another aura in the yin qi. Demonic qi. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. Yes, it is indeed demonic qi. Guimo replied. He was very sensitive to demonic qi. Kacha, kacha. Suddenly, Lu Ming heard the sound of metal clashing in front of him. Then he saw a team appear in front of him. There were about a dozen people, all of them wearing black metal armor. Under the metal armor, there was no physical body, only a ball of flame. Ghost fire. This is a ghost soldier. Lu Ming was surprised to see a team of ghost soldiers here. Lu Ming had encountered similar ghost soldiers in the ghost region. However, the ghost soldiers here were a little different. In addition to the yin qi, there was also a demonic qi around them. These ghost soldiers must have been experts of the demonic path when they were alive. There are many experts buried here. Guimo said, "Forget it, let's go over first." After Lu Ming said that, a black bone club appeared in his hand. This bone club was taken from the Dark Ape fighting tribe. It was refined by an expert of the Dark Ape fighting tribe and had a strong restraining effect on ghosts. As expected, after the bone club was taken out, it emitted a faint light. When the ghost soldiers were illuminated by the light, they retreated in fear and took the initiative to open a path. Lu Ming passed through without any danger. After that, Lu Ming met at least a few hundred ghost soldiers. However, Lu Ming used the bone club to open a path, so it was very smooth. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the depths of the mine. The deeper the mine, the more spacious the terrain became. Lu Ming did not know how far he had traveled, but he felt that he had arrived at the depths of the mine. There was a huge underground space here, like an underground world. Chapter 3257. The underground space was very spacious and quiet. There was no sound at all. We have reached the end of the mine. Lu Ming's heart sank slightly. They had reached the end of the mine and could no longer advance. Then, could those ghost soldiers from before stop Biquar and the rest? The answer was no. Those ghost soldiers would definitely not be able to stop Biquar and the rest. Then, wouldn't Lu Ming have nowhere to go? Lu Ming gritted his teeth. No matter what, he had to give it a try. Lu Ming planned to find a place to hide and set up a trap. No matter what, he would not allow himself to be captured without putting up a fight. With a flash, Lu Ming headed to the right. This underground space was very spacious and filled with strange rocks. On the way, Lu Ming saw a pile of mud. Bone Demon told him that it was formed from the flesh and blood of a top expert. Lu Ming naturally left 2 runes on it. Along the way, Lu Ming flipped over many rocks. Suddenly, Lu Ming smelled a strong medicinal fragrance. That is, Lu Ming looked ahead and his eyes lit up. Up ahead, there was a tall hill. On top of the hill, there was a plant. It was a pitch-black plant. Its branches and leaves were pitch-black, but it had 2 milky white fruits. Yuan fruit. This is the Yuan fruit. Lu Ming could not help but exclaim. His eyes revealed a fiery radiance. He had once read in an ancient book that the Yuan fruit was a peerless divine fruit. The lifespan of living beings who consumed it would increase greatly. At most, it could increase one's lifespan by 1 stellar year. 1 stellar year was a very long time. It was equivalent to the lifespan of a star, which was 10 billion years. One had to know that the lifespan of a divine king could reach 5 stellar years at most. The lifespan of a divine lord was also limited. It was already not bad to have 10 stellar years. Such a lifespan was no different from immortality in a small kiliacosm. However, divine realm experts also needed a long time to cultivate. Usually, a seclusion could last hundreds of thousands or even millions of years. Time passed very quickly. No matter how strong one's cultivation was, they would eventually die of old age. If news of the addition of a stellar year were to spread, many old men would definitely fight over it. With 1 more stellar year, his cultivation base might increase exponentially and his lifespan might be extended. These were priceless treasures, and there were actually 2 of them here. No wonder Lu Ming's eyes were burning. Lu Ming was about to rush up and pick them. "Brat, if you want to die, go ahead," Gu Mo's voice rang out, stopping Lu Ming in his tracks. "What do you mean?" Lu Ming asked. "I feel that this hill is very terrifying. There's a great killing intent," Gu Mo said. Lu Ming broke out in a cold sweat. If this ancient bone devil felt a great killing intent, then it must be incomparably dangerous. "Maybe we can trick those people." Lu Ming's eyes moved. His figure flashed and arrived at the side of the hill. He found a secluded place to hide. Not long after, Biqua and the others also arrived at this underground space. The faces of Biqua and the others were extremely gloomy. Along the way, they had passed through several dangerous places and encountered those ghost soldiers. Those ghost soldiers would attack them as soon as they saw them. It was not easy for them to rush over, but they had also lost some people. "This place is very big. Let's split up and search. Be on guard at all times to prevent that brat from sneaking up on us," B. Core instructed. The group split into 3 groups and went to the left, right, and middle respectively. They spread out to search. Once they found Lu Ming, they were to contact him at any time and then kill him. One of the groups headed in the direction of Lu Ming. This group of people had 2 Divine Lord Realm powerhouses. One of them was precisely Deputy General Sunday. They kept moving forward. Not long after, they arrived at the vicinity of the hill. "That's the Yuan fruit." Deputy General Sun and the others also saw the Yuan fruit. Their eyes were burning with passion. They were ecstatic. They did not expect to see the Yuan fruit here. In the Taishu dynasty, who knew how many old monsters who were nearing the end of their lifespans were hibernating, hoping to break through their cultivation base. If these Yuan fruits were taken out, those old monsters would go crazy. 2 Yuan fruits. How about the 2 of us take 1 each? Deputy General Sun suppressed the greed in his heart and looked at the other person. That was another Deputy General. His surname was Wang, and he was called Deputy General Wang. "Okay, we'll take 1 each." Deputy General Wang nodded. As for the others, they could only sigh helplessly. The 2 Yuan fruits would definitely be divided between the 2 Divine Lord experts. There would be no share for them. All of you listen well. The matter of the Yuan fruit must not be leaked out. If anyone leaks it out, don't blame me for being ruthless. Deputy General Sun's gaze swept over the others. It was incomparably cold. "Deputy General, I can swear that we will definitely not leak it out." "Me too, I can also swear." The others also swore one after another. The Yuan fruit was too precious. Once it was leaked out, Biqua and the others would definitely ask for it. At that time, it would be inevitable that they would have to share it out. Deputy General Sun nodded in satisfaction. He exchanged glances with Deputy General Wang. Then, the two of them moved and rushed toward the hill. However, when the two of them rushed into the hill, their expressions changed drastically at the same time. They cried out in surprise and retreated out of the hill. Deputy General Sun, what happened to you? The others were extremely surprised. There were no abnormalities just now. Why did the two deputy generals have incomparably frightened expressions, their figures retreating rapidly? Deputy General Sun and Deputy General Wang looked at each other, their eyes filled with bewilderment. Divine Lord Realm Expert's spiritual perception was very sharp. When they rushed into the range of the hill just now, a great crisis inexplicably appeared in their hearts. This kind of crisis made their hearts tremble. It was as if they would fall the next instant. Hence, they jumped back one after another. Nothing. Deputy General Sun shook his head. His eyes flashed and he said, "You guys, go up and pluck the yuan fruit." Deputy General Sun looked at some of the other Black Jade Army members. "We're going." Those Black Jade Army members' faces turned snow-white all at once. They were not fools. That kind of frightened expression of Deputy General Sun and Deputy General Wang just now was not faked. That hill definitely had danger. This wanted them to go and probe it out. That's right. You guys go and pluck it. Pluck the yuan fruit and you'll be heavily rewarded. If you don't go, you're violating military orders. You should know the consequences. Deputy General Wang's figure moved slightly and blocked the back of those Black Jade Army members. His face was cold and the threat was self-evident. Those Black Jade Army members' faces were snow-white. If they did not go, they would probably be killed on the spot by the two deputy generals. All right, let's go. Those Black Jade Army members gritted their teeth and finally nodded. Dozens of Black Jade Army members moved together. Their bodies emitted various kinds of radiance. They took out various divine weapons and placed them around their bodies. Then, they formed a group and carefully walked toward the hill. When they stepped into the range of the hill, there was not the slightest danger. Everything was very calm. Deputy General Sun and Deputy General Wang looked at each other, bewildered. Could it be that they had sensed wrongly just now? Those Black Jade Army members also heaved a sigh of relief. They quickened their pace and continued to move forward. Chapter 3258. The Black Jade Army continued to move forward towards the peak of the hill. Soon they were halfway there. "What's wrong with you?" Suddenly, someone exclaimed. A Black Jade Army soldier looked at another Black Jade Army soldier in horror. The Black Jade Army soldier's face turned gray and his body quickly shriveled. It was as if his essence chi had been sucked away. The Black Jade Army soldier widened his eyes in horror. He could only utter a few words before his body shriveled up completely. In the end, only a piece of human skin was left and it fell to the ground. Hiss! All the Black Jade Army soldiers gasped as a chill ran down their spines from the soles of their feet. Help! Help! Then, another Black Jade Army soldier screamed in horror as his body shriveled up rapidly. In the end, he too turned into a piece of human skin. It was horrifying. It was as if there was an invisible devil in the air that was devouring their flesh and blood. Lu Ming, who was hiding in the dark, was shocked as well. Cold sweat was dripping down his back. If he had walked into the hill rashly, he would not have ended up well. The rest of the Black Jade Army soldiers screamed in horror as they turned around and tried to escape. However, in the process of escaping, a few of them shriveled up and turned into human skin. What was even more shocking was that as the other members of the Black Jade Army were fleeing, wisps of blood chi flew out from their bodies and entered the hills beneath their feet. These wisps of blood chi were formed from the essence, chi, and soul of the Black Jade Army. As the Black Jade Army soldiers ran away, their bodies shriveled up. Plop, plop. In the end, all the Black Cloud Army soldiers ran to the edge of the hill and fell to the ground. Some of the weaker ones had their flesh and blood sucked dry. Help! Help! A few of the stronger ones were still alive. They stared at Deputy General Sun and Deputy General Wang with their eyes wide open and begged for help. However, Deputy General Sun and Deputy General Wang were indifferent as they watched coldly from the side. In the end, the Black Jade Army soldiers who had just stepped into the hill were completely annihilated and turned into dozens of human skins. What kind of hill is this? It's simply a demonic land. Lu Ming felt a chill in his heart. In his heart, this hill was even more terrifying than a demon. Why does it look like a huge tomb? Immediately, Lu Ming had a thought. The more he looked at the hill, the more it looked like a large tomb. That's right, this is a large tomb. There should be a great devil buried inside. Bone's voice rang out. Lu Ming felt his scalp go numb. His guess was correct. This hill was a tomb where a great devil was buried. After this great devil died, it could actually devour the flesh and blood of humans? What should we do? Deputy General Sun looked at Deputy General Wang. Their feelings were not wrong. This hill was truly terrifying. However, they were unwilling to retreat just like that. That was a single origin fruit. Its value was immeasurable. This was an exceptional opportunity. Let's join hands and use the Monarch Grade Divine Artifact to block it. We'll use our fastest speed to jump up the hill, pluck the Yuan fruit, and then retreat. We should be fine. Deputy General Wang said. All right, let's do that. Deputy General Sun nodded. Then, the two of them each took out a divine artifact. It was a divine artifact that was used by Divine Lord Realm experts. It emitted a terrifying fluctuation. The Monarch Grade Divine Artifact floated beside the two of them and emitted a ray of light that shrouded them. Let's go! Then, the two of them moved and rushed toward the top of the hill. With their speed, they only needed a moment to rush to the top of the hill. However, when they rushed into the range of the hill, they seemed to be hindered by an invisible force. Their speed dropped drastically and it was almost the same as walking. Then, the Monarch Grade Divine Artifacts on both of their sides vibrated non-stop. Wisps of blood chi flew out from their bodies and entered the hill. Not good, retreat. Quick, retreat. This strange force has become stronger. The two of them shouted in horror. They did not dare to continue moving forward. Instead, they wanted to retreat. After all, they were Divine Lord Realm experts and their strength was too strong. In the end, they retreated from the range of the hill. However, their faces were pale and their auras were weak. It seemed like their vitality was greatly damaged. Damn it! What's in this hill? It seems to have become stronger. Deputy General Sun roared. In that short moment, he had lost a large amount of vitality. It would probably take a long time for him to recover. At this moment, figures rushed over from several other directions. It was Biqua and the others. The screams of the Black Cloud army on the hill had obviously alarmed Biqua and the others and attracted them over. That's the Yuan fruit. Biqua and the others saw the Yuan fruit as soon as they arrived. Their eyes were burning with desire and they could not wait to take the Yuan fruit for themselves. Some of them even wanted to rush up the hill. However, when they saw the human skins and scattered armor on the hill, they stopped in their tracks. What's going on? Where are the others? Biqua asked. The others are all dead. They were killed by the hill. Deputy General Sun said. His face was extremely ugly. This time, they had suffered a great loss. Since Biqua and the others had come, they would definitely not be able to enjoy the Yuan fruit alone. Moreover, they had lost a large amount of vitality. It was really a double loss. Immediately, they told Biqua about the terror of the hill. After Biqua and the others heard it, they were shocked. This hill looks like a large tomb. Could it be that a great devil is buried here, and its soul is still lingering after its death, trying to devour flesh and blood essence? Biqua's eyes were solemn as he thought to himself. General, what should we do? The Yuan fruit is rare. Since we have encountered it, it would be a pity to miss it. Another deputy general said. Of course we can't miss it. I happen to have a cross-zone bridge that can directly cross to the top of the hill and isolate the outside world. That power can't do anything to me. Biqua smiled confidently. A cross-zone bridge? The eyes of the others lit up. Then, a colorful stone bridge appeared in Biqua's hand. As he poured in his divine power, the stone bridge rapidly expanded. One end of the stone bridge extended to the top of the hill. Soon, a huge colorful stone bridge was formed from this side to the top of the hill. As long as they crossed the stone bridge, they would be able to reach out and pluck the yuan fruit. You guys, go up and try. Biqua looked at the two Black Jade Army soldiers. Even with the cross-zone bridge, Biqua was still worried. He would not take the risk so easily. Naturally, he would ask the others to go up and test it. The two Black Jade Army soldiers' faces were pale, but they did not dare to disobey Biqua's orders. They could only brace themselves and carefully step onto the bridge. Their bodies were filled with divine power as they set up layers of defense. They stepped onto the bridge step by step and finally arrived at the top of the bridge. There was no problem at all. It's fine. It's fine. The two Black Jade Army soldiers were overjoyed. Biqua was also overjoyed. He stepped forward and walked toward the bridge. Soon he arrived at the middle of the bridge. However, at this moment, the entire hill shone. Black light spread out, and then ghost soldiers in black armor appeared. They stepped onto the bridge and charged toward Biqua. Chapter 3259. A group of ghost soldiers, wearing black armor and holding black spears, stepped onto the bridge and charged at Biqua. They were very powerful. Biqua was shocked and angry. He roared, and the entire mine shook violently. Terrifying divine power transformed into various attacks and blasted at the ghost soldiers. Those ghost soldiers were immediately scattered. However, the ghost soldiers scattered and turned into black light. Then, they condensed into even more ghost soldiers and charged at Biqua. The number was several times more than before. The key was that these ghost soldiers did not die. They seemed to be formed by the black light. As long as they were scattered, they would condense into even more. The ghost soldiers blocked the way, and their divine power was very strong. Although Biqua was powerful, he could not rush over quickly. Come and help me. Biqua shouted at the other Black Jade Army. He wanted the other Black Jade Army to help him block these ghost soldiers so that he could rush over and get the yuan fruit. In the end, under the lead of some deputy generals, dozens of Black Jade Army experts stepped onto the bridge and came to Biqua's side to kill the ghost soldiers. This is a good opportunity. If I overturn this bridge now, what will happen? Lu Ming's eyes flashed with murderous intent. The purpose of Biqua and the others was to kill him. How could Lu Ming miss a chance to counterattack? He did it as soon as he thought of it. Lu Ming restrained his aura and slowly slipped out from his hiding place. He held a talisman seal in each hand. When he neared the hill, Lu Ming waved his hands and threw 2 handfuls of talismans toward the cross-domain bridge. After throwing the talismans, Lu Ming turned and ran without looking back. Rumble! The talismans exploded. There were dozens of talismans in total, and all of them were 9 Serenity's lightning talismans. They exploded and turned into rolling lightning power that bombarded the side of the bridge. So many lightning bolts formed a powerful force that crashed onto the bridge. It was difficult for the bridge to stabilize, and it was directly overturned. Crash! The bridge was overturned. The people on the bridge lost their protection and were directly exposed under the hill. A terrifying power immediately spread out from the hill. Some of them screamed miserably as their bodies quickly shriveled up. In the end, they turned into human skin. Those Black Jade Army below Divine Lord Realm could not withstand the attack of this strange power at all. Their bodies were rapidly shriveling up. Moreover, after the hill absorbed the flesh and blood of the Black Jade Army, its power seemed to have become stronger. Even the Divine Lord powerhouses cried out miserably, panic-stricken. This was because they could clearly see blood energy flying out from their bodies and being absorbed by the hill. Retreat! Go! Biqua and the others roared and rushed out of the hill. As they rushed out of the hill, blood and chi flew out of their bodies continuously. The scene was quite spectacular. In the end, Biqua and those Divine Lord Realm deputy generals successfully charged out. However, the Black Jade Army below the Divine Lord Realm was completely wiped out. Lu Ming, you little bastard, you damned little bastard, Biqua roared furiously. His fury soared to the heavens, and he almost went crazy. Just now, he had hurriedly glanced over and saw a figure. It was Lu Ming. It was Lu Ming who threw out the seal and overturned the cross-domain bridge, causing him to lose a large amount of essence energy. Kill! Kill, we must find that little bastard and cut him into pieces, Bikor roared crazily. His eyes were red and he was about to find Lu Ming. But at this moment, his expression changed and he took out a voice transmission jade talisman. Because at this moment, someone sent him a voice transmission. Not only him, but the other deputy generals also received the voice transmission at the same time. They took out their voice transmission jade talismans and looked at it. Everyone's expression changed drastically. Damn it, the remnants of the previous dynasty are attacking the Black Jade gold mine at this time. Bikor roared in anger. He and the other deputy generals received the same news. The remnants of the previous dynasty were attacking the Black Jade gold mine. Little bastard, I will spare your life for now. Bikor roared. He did not dare to stay any longer. The remnants of the previous dynasty were not to be underestimated. Before the Taishu dynasty, there was a dynasty called the Saint Devil dynasty. The ancestors of the Taishu dynasty overthrew the Saint Devil dynasty and established the Taishu dynasty. However, the territory of the Taishu dynasty was too vast. It included a large number of starfields and galaxies. Such a vast territory had countless planets with life, resource planets, and countless small worlds. The universe was boundless. No matter how powerful the Taishu dynasty was, they could not control every inch of the universe. Therefore, there were many remnants of the Saint Devil dynasty who lived in the dark and fought against the Taishu dynasty. From time to time, they would attack some planets with life or resource planets to seize resources. The Taishu dynasty hated the remnants of the Saint Devil dynasty and killed them on sight. If the mine was occupied by the remnants of the previous dynasty, it would be a serious crime. As a general, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Now, he could only let Lu Ming go for now. It would not be too late to kill Lu Ming after defeating the remnants of the previous dynasty. Anyway, as long as he sent people to block the entrance of the mine, he would not be afraid of Lu Ming escaping. Let's go! Bikor roared and rushed out of the mine with the remaining people. Lu Ming threw out 2 talismans and ran away. He ran far away and found a secret place to hide. But after a while, he did not see anyone chasing after him. Lu Ming was surprised. He waited for a while, but still, no one chased after him. Did Bikor and his people all die on that hill? Lu Ming pondered for a while. He then restrained his aura and sneaked out, heading toward the hill. Soon, Lu Ming returned to the vicinity of the hill but did not see anyone. Where are they? They should not be dead. Lu Ming muttered. He speculated that Bikor and his lieutenants should not be dead from the scattered armors on the hill. This was because the deputy general and Bikor's armors were different from the rest of the Black Jade army. There was no deputy general level armor on the hill. Did they get scared and run away? Lu Ming continued to murmur. Boy, they did run away. They left here. At this moment, a deep voice sounded. This voice was unfamiliar. It was not the voice of Bone Demon or the measure formula. He had never heard it before. Who is it? Lu Ming was shocked. He jumped 3 meters high and scanned the surroundings with his spiritual sense. However, there was no one, not even a shadow. Who is it? Come out, don't play tricks here. Lu Ming shouted coldly. A bright light appeared on his body, and he was ready to fight at any time. If I could come out, I would have come out long ago. Why would I talk so much nonsense with you? Look here, yes, it's here. That voice sounded again. In the end, Lu Ming's gaze landed on the hill. That was because the sound came from the hill. Nest, it's a zombie. Lu Ming jumped 3 meters high again and retreated a few hundred meters. According to Bone Demon, a great demon was buried in the hill, but now the great demon spoke. Chapter 3260. Bullshit, you're the one who turned into a corpse. I'm not dead at all. An angry roar came from the hill. After all, Lu Ming was someone who had seen big scenes. He slowly calmed down. It seems that I miscalculated. The great demon in this hill shouldn't be dead. He wasn't buried here, but sealed here. Gumo said, Kid, do me a favor. At this moment, the voice came from the hill again. Help you? How can I help you? Lu Ming asked. Do me a favor and let me out. Although I've absorbed quite a bit of blood energy and managed to recover some of my strength, I still can't break the seal here. If you help me break the seal and let me out, I'll definitely reward you handsomely. The voice said, "Let you out?" Lu Ming's eyes flickered. At the same time, he was shocked. It was indeed this great demon who had absorbed the blood and flesh of the Black Jade Army. That's right. You've already helped me once just now by overturning their cross-domain bridge and letting me absorb a lot of blood and flesh. My vitality has recovered a little. You might as well be a good person and help me again. There are 4 altars around my hill. As long as you shatter these altars, the power of the seal will weaken, and I'll be able to break the seal and come out. The voice said, "What's in it for me if I let you out?" Lu Ming asked. "As long as you let me out, I'll definitely give you a great opportunity. The 2 Yuan fruits at the top of the hill will be yours. Of course, there are other opportunities that you can enjoy for the rest of your life." The voice from the hill sounded again, full of temptation. "I think I'd better forget it. I can't afford the opportunity that you're talking about." After Lu Ming said that, he turned around and walked out of the mine cave. What a joke! There was definitely a real great demon in this hill. Who knew when it had been sealed here by someone? However, there was one thing that was without a doubt. It was definitely extremely terrifying. It could be seen from the mine that many peerless experts had died in the mine. Their flesh and blood had turned into mud. It was already so terrifying. Also, that hill could devour people's flesh and blood. It would be dangerous even for divine lords to go up. What if this great demon was released and swallowed Lu Ming whole? Then he would be wronged. Lu Ming would be a fool to let him out. "Brat, don't go, damn it, come back, I will give you a great fortune, damned ant. Don't let me out or I'll swallow you whole." That voice roared loudly. In the end, it directly cursed and then threatened. Lu Ming was unmoved. He quickened his pace and rushed out of the mine. Not long after, Lu Ming returned to the entrance of the mine. Kill! As soon as he arrived at the entrance of the mine, he heard intense battle cries coming from outside. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were fighting fiercely. The entire earth was shaking. Lu Ming was shocked. What happened outside? How could there be such intense battle cries? Could it be that Biqua and the others left because of this? Lu Ming carefully walked to the entrance of the mine and found that there was no one guarding the entrance. It seemed that the battle was really intense. Otherwise, Biqua would have sent people to guard the entrance. Lu Ming rushed out of the mine and was shocked when he saw it. A fierce battle had broken out in the entire mine. Above the sky, demonic chi billowed and battle cries resounded through the sky. Lu Ming saw a large number of Black Jade Army in armor forming a battle formation and fighting fiercely with some experts surrounded by demonic chi. There was a battle in the mine and in the sky. Lu Ming even saw Biqua leading some deputy generals and fighting with some powerful figures. It was hard to tell who would win. Obviously, there were also divine lords on the other side. Who are these people? Which force in the Taishu dynasty dares to attack the mine of the Taishu dynasty? Are they interstellar pirates? Lu Ming thought. There was no lack of bandits in the vast universe. These bandits were called interstellar pirates. They were all desperados and experts. Wait, in the Taishu dynasty, there is another force that dares to go against the Taishu dynasty. That is the remnants of the previous dynasty, the people of the Saint Devil dynasty. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The remnants of the previous dynasty and the people of the Saint Devil dynasty were no secret. He had been in the sacred academy of the Taishu imperial family for so many years and had heard about it many times. The Saint Devil dynasty mainly practiced demonic cultivation methods. Lu Ming felt that these people were really similar. At this moment, the entire mine was in chaos. As soon as these people attacked, the slave miners in the mine and the barbarian slaves all rioted and attacked the people of the Black Jade Army, trying to take the opportunity to escape. Let's get out of here first. Lu Ming moved and rushed in a direction. However, Lu Ming was attacked before he could go too far. A terrifying sound broke through the air and a strong wind pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. It was a barbarian. He was tall and strong with bulging muscles. He threw a punch at Lu Ming, full of explosive power. It was a second-level Divine King Realm barbarian. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He took out his long spear and swept it out. The long spear hit the barbarian's fist. Bang! The barbarian was sent flying and broke a small mountain. However, he was not dead yet. He lay there and vomited blood. Is the divine body so strong? Lu Ming was also surprised. He had heard that the barbarian's divine body was extremely strong. With the help of some barbarian secret techniques, their strength was amazing. In a battle of the same level, the soldiers of the Taishu dynasty were usually suppressed by the barbarians. Today, he saw that it was true. Just now, although Lu Ming had just casually attacked and did not use much of his strength, it was easy for him to kill a second-level divine king realm cultivator. However, the barbarian was only injured, not killed. Kill! At this moment, a few more barbarians rushed over. They were like wild beasts, full of ferocious murderous aura. They wanted to kill Lu Ming. These barbarians were either in the 3rd or 4th level of the King Realm Divine King Realm. Lu Ming activated the battle character secret art and quadrupled his fighting strength. 10 types of divine powers exploded in his body. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. His long spear shook and a few spear lights shot out, piercing through the barbarians and killing them. After killing the barbarians, Lu Ming sped up and kept running. He wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. However, this mine was full of battles. It was not easy to leave. Before long, Lu Ming was targeted by some barbarians. The barbarians and the Taishu dynasty had been fighting for a long time. They were sworn enemies. Moreover, these barbarians had been captured and brought here as slaves. They had been humiliated, so they hated the people of the Taishu dynasty even more. Lu Ming was the chosen one of the Taishu dynasty. He had been patrolling the mine. Many barbarians had remembered Lu Ming's face. Now that they had the chance, they wanted to kill Lu Ming. As for the chosen one of the Taishu dynasty, they wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Lu Ming fought a bloody battle. In the end, he transformed into the green-armored ancient god body and used the origin secret technique to fight his way out of the mine. However, as soon as he got out of the mine, he was targeted by the barbarians again. Chapter 3261. As Lu Ming slaughtered his way through, he heard the shouts of the Black Jade Army. Finally, he was sure that these people with towering devil energy were the remnants of the previous dynasty, people from the Saint Devil dynasty. Several experts of the Saint Devil dynasty had their eyes on Lu Ming. This kid is ridiculously strong. He's most likely a genius from the Taishu dynasty. Kill him. Ha! Several black-robed men rushed towards Lu Ming. Their auras were strong. One of them was in the 7th layer of the King God realm, and the other 2 were in the 6th layer of the King God realm. Lu Ming didn't even think about it as he threw out a bunch of talismans. With a burst of crackling and rattling sounds, the black-robed men were disoriented by the explosion, and their bodies were charred black. Lu Ming rushed over, thrusting out his long spear, killing the 3 black-robed men. This 9 Serenities lightning talisman is really useful. I'll have to refine more in the future. Lu Ming pondered. However, there weren't many talismans left from the last time he refined after squandering them during this period of time. I have to get out of here as soon as possible. Lu Ming's figure flickered. He didn't dare to fly in the sky. He could only shuttle back and forth on the ground to avoid being targeted. At this moment, several black shadows silently appeared at the entrance of the mine that Lu Ming had just entered. Legend has it that the Undying Demon King is sealed on this planet. The entrance should be here, right? One of them said, "My lord, if we let the Undying Demon King out like this, will something big happen?" Legend has it that the Undying Demon King is a traitor of the Saint Devil dynasty. He almost overthrew the Saint Devil dynasty and became the emperor himself. Another person said with a trembling voice. According to the legends, the Undying Demon King was an extremely terrifying existence. His strength was unparalleled, and he was vicious and merciless. During the golden age of the Saint Devil dynasty, the Undying Demon King rebelled and killed many people. In the end, the Saint Devil dynasty sent out countless experts to fight the Undying Demon King. After suffering heavy casualties, the Undying Demon King was sealed. It wasn't the king of the Demon King, but it wasn't the king of the Divine King. It was a title. At that time, the Saint Devil dynasty was weakened rapidly because of the rebellion of the undying demon king. Later, the Taishu dynasty seized the opportunity to destroy them. Otherwise, the Saint Devil dynasty would still be in control of the world. And they were the true descendants of the Saint Devil imperial court. How could they save the traitorous undying demon king? No matter what, the undying demon king is a member of the Saint Devil dynasty. He has the blood of the royal family of the Saint Devil dynasty flowing in his veins. Given the current situation with our current strength, we are no match for the Taishu dynasty. Sooner or later, we will be wiped out by them. We might as well release the undying demon king and let him lead us to overthrow the Taishu dynasty. The person in front said. That's right, there's no other way. Let's follow the plan and release the undying demon king. Another person said. Then, their figures flashed and entered the mine. After a long journey, they finally arrived at the hill where the undying demon king was sealed. You are from the Saint Devil dynasty. What are you doing here? A voice came from the hill immediately. The undying demon king is still alive. The people from the Saint Devil dynasty were pleasantly surprised. Nonsense, I'm immortal. How could a mere seal be able to kill me? If you save me now, I will give you a great fortune. The voice came from the hill again. Needless to say, the great demon sealed in the hill was the undying demon king. Don't worry, demon king. We are here to save you. One of them said. Then they took action and attacked the altars around the hill. There were 4 ancient altars around the hill, which were the key to the seal. Boom. The 4 altars quickly crumbled under the attack of external forces. Boom. As soon as the 4 altars collapsed, a terrifying aura burst out from the hill. This aura was as vast as the sea and as terrifying as the boundless universe. It was unfathomable. The experts from the Saint Devil dynasty trembled and almost knelt down. The undying demon king is coming out. One of them whispered and thought of various legends. His face was full of horror. Boom, boom. Within the hill, earth-shattering explosions continued to erupt. Waves after waves of terrifying auras continued to erupt and spread out. In an instant, the entire mine could sense it. And this aura was still expanding rapidly. Soon, the entire planet was covered by this aura. That is, Lu Ming, who was running away, was shocked. He turned back and looked at the mine. It's that mine. This aura is the great demon. The great demon is coming out. Lu Ming's pupils contracted. At this moment, Biqua and the others were also shocked. Stop them, stop them. Help will be here soon. Biqua shouted and led the Black Jade army to fight with all their might. As for Lu Ming, he sped up, wanting to leave this troublesome place. However, his path ahead was blocked. A few experts with towering demonic chi stood in front of him. This kid is an expert. Don't let him go. A few experts with towering demonic chi walked over. Their eyes were cold and they emitted a powerful aura. The most powerful one among them had reached the 9th level of the Divine King realm. Lu Ming would not be able to deal with him. Even if he were to rely on array flags and seals, he would not be able to contend with him. Therefore, Lu Ming took out the purple copper coffin directly. Get lost if you don't want to die. He shouted coldly. Kid, you're just an ant in the 2nd layer of the King God realm. How dare you be so arrogant? You're courting death. A black-robed man shouted coldly. He stretched out his hand and tried to grab Lu Ming. This man was in the 8th layer of the King God realm. I've given you a chance, Lu Ming murmured. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. Then he waved the purple copper coffin. The purple copper coffin shook and the mud on it flew out like raindrops. Puff, puff, puff. The black-robed men couldn't resist at all. Their bodies were pierced by the mud and looked like a beehive. They screamed in fear. Their bodies decayed quickly. Even the 9th layer of the King God realm was the same. He looked at Lu Ming in fear. Not long after, a few more skeletons appeared. This mud should be used sparingly. Lu Ming looked at the mud on the purple copper coffin. He was heartbroken. Then, he kept the purple copper coffin and continued to move forward. When Lu Ming was far away from the Black Jade Army's mine, He soared into the sky and into space. He randomly chose a direction and flew at high speed. At the same time, the terrifying aura in the Black Jade Army's mind was getting thicker and more oppressive. Eventually, a demonic chi shot up from the ground and into the starry sky. Then, the ground exploded and a figure soared into the sky. It was a tall and sturdy middle-aged man. His hair was disheveled and his demonic chi soared to the sky. His violent aura made the entire planet tremble. Haha, after so many years, I'm finally free. Ha! The immortal demon king laughed wildly. Chapter 3262. The undying demon king laughed wildly. His aura soared to the sky, shaking the entire planet. The undying demon king has appeared. The Saint Devil dynasty is going to rise again. Ha! The remnants of the previous dynasty were overjoyed. Who is that? There is such a terrifying existence in the depths of the mine? The people of the Black Jade Army were shocked. Could it be the demons sealed under the hill? Biqua's eyes moved as he thought of something. I didn't expect that the Saint Devil dynasty would disappear and be replaced by the bullshit Taishu dynasty. But now that I, the undying demon king, have appeared, the Saint Devil dynasty will reappear in the world. The undying demon king whispered and then roared to the sky. Endless demonic chi gushed out and turned into a huge demon shadow. This demon phantom was incomparably huge. Its body was as big as half a planet, and it was indomitable. The demon roared and opened its mouth, bursting out a terrifying devouring force. The devouring force shrouded all directions. Many barbarians around him screamed in horror as they were swallowed by the devouring force. At least a few thousand barbarians were swallowed by the demon shadow and disappeared. Then, the undying demon king's aura became stronger. Comfortable again. The undying demon king laughed and opened his mouth again. A large number of barbarians and some Black Jade army flew toward the demon's mouth. No, help! Mournful cries rang out one after another. Then, a few thousand barbarians and Black Jade army were swallowed by the undying demon king. His aura became stronger. You're courting death. Kill him. Biqua and some of his deputies attacked together. They blasted out terrifying attacks that made the void tremble and pressed toward the undying demon king. All of them were divine Lord Realm powerhouses. Attacking together, how terrifying was the power! They could shatter a planet all at once. However, the undying demon king unleashed a gigantic demonic palm that blotted out the sky as it pressed down. The attacks of Biqua and the others were instantly defeated. Their bodies shook violently and flew out into space, spurting out blood. How is that possible? Biqua and the others were shocked. A few brats dare to make a move against me? I'll swallow you all. The immortal demon king laughed ferociously and took a step forward. His demonic shadow roared and swallowed the barbarians and the Black Jade army. However, the people of the Saint Devil dynasty were not affected at all. The people of the Saint Devil dynasty were both surprised and delighted. What was shocking was that the undying demon king was just as brutal as the legend said. As soon as he came out, he devoured the creatures. In just a short while, he had already devoured tens of thousands of creatures. They were happy because the stronger the undying demon king was, the greater the chance of their Saint Devil imperial court rising. Damn it, Biqua and the others roared in anger. This time, their losses were truly too great. However, they did not dare to approach. The undying demon king was too terrifying. Reinforcements are here. Suddenly, a deputy general looked into the distance and revealed a joyful expression. Far away in the starry sky, there were two huge battleships flying over. This kind of battleship was a specially made war machine. It could break through the void, and its speed was far above the speed of light. Near the Black Jade gold mine, there was also an army of the Taishu dynasty stationed there. The strength of this army was far beyond the Black Jade army. When the remnants of the Saint Devil dynasty attacked the Black Jade gold mine, Biqua had sent out a signal for help. Now, the reinforcements were finally here. The remnants of the Saint Devil dynasty were also shocked. With their strength, they were no match for the regular army of the Taishu dynasty. My strength is far from recovered. I'll retreat now. I'll definitely pay a visit to the Taishu holy capital some other day. The undying demon king smiled ferociously and waved his hand. A huge demonic pagoda flew out and expanded rapidly. All of you, enter the demonic pagoda. I'll take you away. The undying demon king said. The remnants of the Saint Devil dynasty entered the demonic pagoda one after another. Then, the demonic pagoda turned into a ray of demonic light and disappeared in a flash. When the reinforcements of the Taishu dynasty arrived, the undying demon king and the people of the Saint Devil dynasty had already disappeared without a trace. Biqua and the others could only report this matter to their superiors. Lu Ming kept flying, wanting to get away from this troublesome place. His speed was amazing. Using the Garuda technique, he was like a Garuda soaring in space. Planets passed by Lu Ming one after another. Finally left. Feeling that he was far away from the Black Jade gold mine, Lu Ming let out a long sigh. The mission this time was really dangerous. If Lan Shang hadn't given him a batch of formation flags and seals, and if Bone Devil hadn't taught him to refine a batch of seals, he most likely wouldn't have survived. What other forces do you have in the Abyss Heavenly King residence? Who ordered Biqua? I'll remember this. One day, I'll make you pay back tenfold. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He was ready to leave and return to the Taishu holy capital. But at this moment, his expression changed because a ray of demonic light flashed in front of him. Then, a huge demonic pagoda flew over at an amazing speed. Before Lu Ming could react, the huge demonic pagoda had already appeared in front of him. A ray of demonic light enveloped Lu Ming, and Lu Ming's body was suddenly immobilized. In the next moment, a figure walked out of the demonic pagoda. His eyes flashed fiercely as he stared at Lu Ming. This person was the undying demon king. Boy, we're really fated to meet again. The undying demon king smiled ferociously, revealing his snow-white teeth. Lu Ming sucked in a breath of cold air. He recognized who the voice belonged to. Wasn't it the great demon in the hill under the mine? Senior, congratulations. Congratulations on breaking free and roaming the universe. Lu Ming immediately sucked up to him. Is that so? If it weren't for my good luck, I'm afraid I would still be sealed there. The undying demon king sneered. Obviously, he was implying that Lu Ming didn't save him before. If it weren't for his good luck, he would still be suppressed. Lu Ming broke out in cold sweat and cursed his bad luck in his heart. He didn't know that the other party could break free. If he had known, he would have saved the other party himself. Senior, you've misunderstood. I already knew that you would definitely be able to break free. There was no need for me to intervene at all. Look, you broke free immediately, Lu Ming said with a smile. There was no other way. The other party was too terrifying. The terrifying pressure on him made him unable to even move. The other party could probably kill him with a flick of his finger. People under the eaves had to bow their heads. Do you think I'll let you go just because you said that? The undying demon king sneered. His eyes were filled with demonic chi, like two demonic chi whirlpools, full of unfathomable feeling. But the next moment, the undying demon king's eyes were filled with surprise. He muttered, "This kid, interesting. He has a lot of secrets. It's a pity to kill him." Chapter 3263. In front of the undying demon king, Lu Ming did not have the slightest strength to resist. He was directly brought into the demonic pagoda. Then, the demonic pagoda broke through the air and disappeared. The demonic pagoda was divided into 18 floors. There was no one in the place where Lu Ming was. The undying demon king brought him into the demonic pagoda and disappeared. I'm too unlucky. Lu Ming was speechless and asked the heavens. He had already left the Black Jade army mine, but now he had fallen into the hands of the undying demon king. Bone Demon, what should I do? Is there any way to get out? Lu Ming asked. There's no way. You can only resign yourself to fate. Bone Demon's answer almost made Lu Ming vomit blood. What is the background of this great demon? And who saved him? Is it someone from the Saint Devil Imperial Court? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. He had left long ago, so he did not know the identity of the undying demon king. After guessing for a long time, Lu Ming could not come to a conclusion. He could only sit cross-legged and wait quietly. After an unknown period of time, a sudden force acted on Lu Ming. In a flash, Lu Ming found that he had left the demonic pagoda. Lu Ming quickly looked around and found that he was in a huge square. Then he saw the undying Demon King and some other people, all of whom were surging with demonic qi. It's really someone from the Saint Devil Imperial Court. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. I've been sealed for many years and my vitality has been greatly damaged. I need to cultivate in seclusion immediately to recover my strength. During this time, stay put and don't disturb me. The undying Demon King said. Yes. The people of the Saint Devil Imperial Court nodded repeatedly. And him. Then, the undying Demon King pointed at Lu Ming and said, during this time, help me keep an eye on him. Don't let him leave. After that, the undying Demon King moved and disappeared directly, looking for a place to cultivate in seclusion. Then, the people of the Saint Devil Imperial Court looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Who is Lu Ming? They were somewhat puzzled. Lu Ming looked like someone from the Taishu dynasty, but the unkillable Demon King asked them to keep an eye on him. He only said that they should not let Lu Ming leave. He did not say whether he was an enemy or a friend. What was the relationship between Lu Ming and the undying Demon King? They had no idea either. Little brother, what's your relationship with the immortal Demon King? Finally, a big shot from the Saint Devil Imperial Court asked. So that great devil is called the Undying Devil King. These people are afraid of him. Could it be that the Undying Devil King is a big shot from the Saint Devil dynasty? Lu Ming guessed in his heart, and his guess was not far from the truth. Seniors, my apologies. Lord Devil King instructed me not to reveal my relationship with him. Lu Ming smiled and began to lie, pretending to be mysterious. Sure enough, after hearing Lu Ming's words, the people of the Saint Devil Imperial Court were surprised. They could not figure out the relationship between Lu Ming and the Undying Demon King. What if Lu Ming and the Undying Demon King had a very good relationship? Lord Devil King only said not to let him leave. Then we will do as he said. We will not care about other things. When the Devil King comes out of seclusion, he will make a decision. That's right. The people of the Saint Devil Imperial Court secretly discussed and decided that as long as Lu Ming did not leave this place, they would not care about other things. Immediately, they sent people to arrange a residence for Lu Ming. It was a majestic palace, very quiet and suitable for cultivation. Afterward, Lu Ming stayed there for the night. So this is the headquarters of the Saint Devil Imperial Court. The Undying Demon King is indeed a big shot from the Saint Devil Imperial Court. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed here for 7 days. Here, other than not being able to leave, no one restricted his freedom. He could move freely. In these 7 days, he had learned many things through indirect questioning. This place was not on a planet, but a hidden world. It was very vast and a large number of Saint Devil Imperial Court survivors had gathered here. After countless years of development, the number of people and experts here was shocking. I should cultivate first and take one step at a time. Lu Ming sighed. Since he could not leave, he could only take one step at a time. Anyway, no one restricted his freedom. In the following days, Lu Ming cultivated in this place. His days were peaceful. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed here for dozens of years. On this day, Lu Ming was wandering around in a demon city. This world was very big. In the vast land, there were many demon cities. It was like a country. The demon city in front of him was the imperial capital of the Saint Devil Imperial Court. Have you heard? Young Prince Feng Lu has broken through to the third King God realm. Tomorrow, he will invite all the geniuses to the Demon Sky Garden. I heard about it too. Young Prince Feng Lu is so young and he has already broken through to the third King God realm. His future is limitless. That's right. It's a pity that I'm not a genius. Otherwise, I would like to join in the fun. Lu Ming had not been wandering around for long when he heard the news. Young Prince Feng Lu, gathering the geniuses? Interesting. Lu Ming was curious. He wanted to see how strong the geniuses of the Saint Devil Imperial Court were. Lu Ming randomly found a restaurant and ordered some dishes. He ate and drank while waiting. He ate and drank for the whole day. The next day, Lu Ming asked around for the location of the Demon Sky Garden and headed there. The entrance of the Demon Sky Garden was very lively. There were all kinds of beast carriages parked there. There were beast carriages pulled by dark Qilin and beast carriages pulled by divine birds. One by one, young men and women walked into the demonic sky garden. They were all geniuses from various places. Lu Ming strode into the demon sky garden and attracted a lot of attention. The geniuses of the Saint Devil Imperial Court mainly cultivated the demon path. They cultivated the demon path's divine skills and demonic qi surged from their bodies. However, Lu Ming did not have any demonic qi on him. Soon he arrived at a courtyard. There were rows of tables and chairs in the courtyard. There was a lot of food on the tables. Lu Ming casually found a table and sat down, sizing up the surroundings. These geniuses of the Saint Devil Imperial Court are not that strong. Lu Ming muttered. He noticed that most of the geniuses of the Saint Devil Imperial Court were in the first or second King God realm. It was rare to see a third King God realm cultivator. There were even some who were below the King God realm. Who is this kid? Why haven't I seen him before? I haven't seen him before either. Moreover, he doesn't have any demonic qi on him. Where did he come from? Many people looked at Lu Ming curiously. I've seen him before. He's always loafing around. Someone said, causing a commotion among the crowd. He doesn't cultivate the demon path. Could he be a good-for-nothing? Who knows? The young master has arrived. Suddenly, a voice was heard. Everyone looked over and saw a young man in luxurious clothes. He had an extraordinary aura as he walked in the air. Greetings, young master. Everyone stood up and bowed. Everyone, there's no need for formalities. Please take a seat. Chapter 3264. Congratulations, little prince, for breaking through to the third King God realm. Your future is boundless. Lu Kai presents 2 black jade beads to congratulate little prince. Congratulations, little prince, for breaking through to the third King God realm. Li Mu presents 2 MOU divine paintings to congratulate little prince. Then, the young men went up one by one to present gifts to little Prince Feng Lu. Little Prince Feng Lu accepted them one by one. Not long after, everyone present presented a gift. Except for Lu Ming, of course. Lu Ming was surprised. Did he need to present a gift to attend a party? He didn't prepare anything. Besides, the gifts were all demonic gifts. He didn't have any. Many people looked at Lu Ming. Brother, everyone has presented gifts to little Prince Feng Lu. Didn't you bring anything? Someone asked. I didn't? Lu Ming smiled embarrassedly. Humph, little prince has broken through to the third King God realm. It's a joyous occasion. You didn't even bring a gift. That's disrespectful to little Prince Feng Lu. Do you understand? Someone snorted coldly. This guy has been idling around all day. I think he's just here to get free food and drink. Someone mocked him. Lu Ming frowned and said, I didn't know I had to bring a gift. I'll leave then. Then, Lu Ming stood up and prepared to leave. He had come here out of curiosity. Since they didn't welcome him, he would just leave. Lu Ming stood up and walked towards the exit. You came and left as you pleased. You didn't even apologize. You didn't put little Prince Feng Lu in your eyes. Kneel down and admit your mistake. Someone shouted. Someone shouted coldly, releasing a powerful aura. He leaped into the air and pressed down on Lu Ming like a huge mountain. When Lu Ming stood up and was about to leave, Feng Lu looked unhappy. Feng Lu saw it, so he seized the opportunity to flatter him. Feng Lu was also in the first King God realm. His aura was terrifying. However, in Lu Ming's eyes, this level of cultivation was not enough. Scram! Lu Ming shouted coldly. His divine power condensed into a long spear, and he pulled it back, directly striking the other party's palm. The other party's body shook violently, and he retreated a dozen or so steps before he could steady himself. He was in a sorry state. Of course, this was because Lu Ming had shown mercy. Otherwise, the other party would already be dead. I'm warning you, don't mess with me. Lu Ming said coldly. You are courting death. The young man felt that he had lost face after being forced back. He roared, and his demonic chi erupted. He used his strongest move, and his entire person was like a demonic tiger, pouncing towards Lu Ming. His energy surged and roared like thunder. He wanted to kill Lu Ming in one move. Bang! Lu Ming pulled out his spear once again. A huge spear light as big as a mountain came crashing down. The demonic tiger formed by the other party was immediately destroyed. Then, the huge spear light pressed down on the other party's body. With a plop, the person knelt down in front of Lu Ming. His face was even smashed into the ground. He was eaten. Shit. It was too horrible to look at. Many people on the scene were stunned. That young man was the son of the duo-guarding duke of the Saint Devil dynasty. Lu Ming had forced him to kneel down in front of him. How bold! I know who he is. I heard that he was brought in from the outside. Some people think that he's from the Taishu dynasty. What? A bastard from the Taishu dynasty? No wonder he doesn't have any demonic chi. He's from the Taishu dynasty. How dare he be so arrogant? How dare he? Suppress him! The scene was in an uproar. Kid, you've got guts. Let's see what you're made of. A cold voice arose. Then, a figure dashed towards Lu Ming. Another person took action. This person's cultivation base was even stronger. He had reached the second sky of the king god realm. Moreover, he had awakened the god origin. The person threw out a palm. His palm was covered with a layer of demonic armor. It was very powerful and he wanted to kill Lu Ming with a single strike. However, Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. The spear light was like a shooting star, piercing through the person's palm. The person screamed in pain and retreated. Blood flowed out of his body. Is this the genius of the Saint Devil dynasty? He's really weak. Lu Ming muttered. His words caused a commotion. What did you say? How arrogant! Let's kill him together. Many geniuses roared. Boom! At that moment, a powerful aura burst out. It came from young Prince Feng Lu. Young Prince Feng Lu stood up. Demonic chi rolled out of him. He squinted his eyes and stared at Lu Ming coldly. You've gone too far. Bind your hands and kneel down to accept your punishment. Young Prince Feng Lu said indifferently. His tone was completely that of a superior, ordering a servant, ordering a slave. Lu Ming almost laughed. Idiot! Lu Ming said and turned around to leave. Young Prince Feng Lu's face suddenly became gloomy. Killing intent surged in his eyes. You from the Taishu dynasty. I'd like to see what kind of ability you have to be so arrogant here. Young Prince Feng Lu shouted coldly. His body shot out and he released his full strength. An ancient aura filled the air. Third layer Divine King Realm and his origin Divine Power Factor had been awakened twice. Lu Ming immediately judged young Prince Feng Lu's strength. This kind of strength was extremely powerful. When the Taishu Imperial Family Sacred Institute was held, this kind of strength was considered a second-tier genius. However, things were different now. For the current Lu Ming, this kind of strength was still not enough. Lu Ming now had 10 types of divine grade divine power and had awakened his origin divine power factor twice. After activating the battle character manual, his combat strength increased by 4 times. With 10 types of divine power circulating, Lu Ming threw out another spear attack. Boom! The void shook violently. The spear light was extremely overbearing and it pressed down on young Prince Feng Lu. Young Prince Feng Lu threw out a dozen punches at the spear light. However, the moment they collided, the light collapsed. Young Prince Feng Lu was sent flying and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! Attack together and suppress this person. Young Prince Feng Lu roared, his face twisted. Not only did this person go against him, he even dared to injure him. He deserved to die. Attack together and kill. Kill. All the geniuses at the first layer Divine King Realm and above attacked Lu Ming. There were more than 100 of them. I gave you face, but you didn't want it. If I don't teach you a lesson today, you'll think I'm easy to bully. Lu Ming's face turned cold. The Sovereign's Gate appeared above his head and it emitted a powerful suction force. Then, Lu Ming shot up into the sky and his spear continued to attack. Bang! 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 Over 100 geniuses couldn't withstand a single blow. Their bodies fell to the ground like raindrops. They all cried out in pain like dying dogs. In the end, young Prince Feng Lu was the same. He was severely injured and was beaten to the ground. The remaining geniuses below the Divine King realm were stunned. They looked at Lu Ming in shock. So many geniuses were defeated by Lu Ming in an instant. How strong is Lu Ming? Chapter 3265. Ah, kid, just you wait. I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. Young Prince Feng Lu roared and got up to leave. Did I say you could leave? Stay here obediently. Lu Ming reached out and grabbed young Prince Feng Lu, slamming him to the ground. Then, he grabbed the other geniuses who were beaten up and piled them into a small mountain. These geniuses were all people with great backgrounds. If they were allowed to leave, Lu Ming would definitely face revenge. Therefore, Lu Ming had to think of a way to deal with the revenge. First of all, he couldn't let these people leave. You're courting death. Let us go quickly. Those geniuses roared. Are all the people from the Saint Devil dynasty like this? They'll probably never be a match for the Taishu dynasty. Lu Ming muttered. Boom, boom. At this moment, a powerful aura came from the sky. Experts had arrived. Just now, someone had already spread the news, and the experts guarding the area immediately rushed over. When these experts arrived and saw this scene, they were immediately stunned. What was going on? A pile of geniuses was piled up, and Lu Ming was standing on top of them, trampling them under his feet. Then, they saw young Prince Feng Lu being suppressed at the bottom. His body was twitching and foaming at the mouth. They were shocked and then roared, Kid, how dare you treat young Prince Feng Lu like this? You're courting death. I'll kill you. Several experts roared and were about to attack Lu Ming. If you dare to attack, I'll kill them immediately. The spear in Lu Ming's hand emitted a cold light, pointing at young Prince Feng Lu and the others. That expert immediately froze, not daring to attack, afraid that Lu Ming would kill young Prince Feng Lu and the others. Kid, you can't leave. If you dare to attack, you'll have to be punished. Which family are you from? Why don't you have demonic qi? The experts sized up Lu Ming and found that there was no demonic qi on Lu Ming's body. They were surprised. He's an outsider from the Taishu dynasty. Someone roared. What? People from the Taishu dynasty? How is that possible? Those experts were shocked. You're the ones who are from the Taishu dynasty. Why don't you think about it? If I were from the Taishu dynasty, how would I get in here? Why hasn't anyone done anything to me? How can I live so well? Lu Ming asked. Those people immediately shut their mouths. In fact, they had only heard about it and had no evidence. The other experts also revealed puzzled looks. Lu Ming was right. If he really was from the Taishu dynasty, he would have been killed long ago. How could he have survived? Boom, boom. At this moment, powerful auras came from all directions of the demonic sky garden. Then, powerful existences stepped into the air and appeared above the demonic sky garden. These people were the family members of those geniuses. Father, save me. Master, save me. Kill this brat. Uncle, save me. The geniuses that Lu Ming had trampled on started shouting excitedly when they saw these people arrive. What's going on? Brat, how dare you? In particular, the uncle of little Prince Feng Lu hollered, his murderous intent as cold as a knife. If not for the fact that little Prince Feng Lu was being stepped on by Lu Ming and his life was in Lu Ming's hands, he would have slapped Lu Ming to death. Young Prince Feng Lu's father was a prince with real power. He had the royal bloodline of the Saint Devil dynasty. Now that Lu Ming had trampled on him, it was a slap to the face of the Saint Devil dynasty's royal family. It would be strange if he was not angry. It's him. However, some of them recognized Lu Ming and knew that Lu Ming was brought back by the undying demon lord. Little brother, you've gone overboard. Even if you were brought back by the undying demon lord, you should be punished for this. Let them go. A middle-aged man said coldly. As soon as he said that, the others were shocked. Lu Ming was brought back by the undying demon lord. What was his relationship with the undying demon lord? Now, Everyone in the Saint Devil dynasty knew that the Undying Demon Lord had come out and was in seclusion. The Undying Demon Lord was the hope of the Saint Devil dynasty. The rise of the Saint Devil dynasty depended on the Undying Demon Lord. So what if he was brought back by the Demon Lord? How dare he trample on young Prince Feng Lu? He should be punished. At the very least, his cultivation should be crippled. Feng Lu's uncle said coldly, "What did you just say? You want to cripple my cultivation? How dare you?" At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly yelled. Everyone looked at one another. How dare he? Who was the one with the bigger guts? Do you know my relationship with the Undying Demon Lord? Do you know why he brought me here? Lu Ming asked several questions. Everyone was silent. Many people's expressions changed. They were all guessing the relationship between Lu Ming and the Undying Demon Lord. Let me tell you. I am the Demon Lord's disciple, his personal disciple. Do you understand? Lu Ming said loudly. When he lied, his face was not red and his heart was not racing. What? You are the Demon Lord's disciple? Or his personal disciple? Impossible. If you are the Demon Lord's personal disciple, why don't you have any demonic chi? You are clearly not cultivating demonic cultivation techniques. Some experts were doubtful. Nonsense. Let me tell you. I am the disciple of the Demon Lord's master. The Demon Lord saw that my talent was unparalleled, and my future was limitless. He insisted on taking me as his personal disciple. I was not willing at first, but my master begged me and I agreed. Because my master was sealed for too long, his vitality was greatly damaged. When he came back, he went into seclusion to cultivate. How could he have time to teach me? Isn't it normal that I don't know any demonic cultivation techniques? When Lu Ming bragged, he did not blush or have his heart skip a beat. A lot of people were bewildered. It is possible. I remember that when the Demon Lord brought us back, he stopped for a while. Could it be that he wanted to take this person as his disciple? An expert who had been to the Black Jade Gold Mine said, "This person is so young, but he has already awakened the Origin Source secret technique. His talent is indeed amazing. Maybe he really is the Demon Lord's disciple. Otherwise, why would the Demon Lord bring him here?" Those experts discussed with each other. The more they talked, the more they felt that Lu Ming was the Undying Demon Lord's disciple. Do these people really believe me? Lu Ming muttered. He had no choice. If he did not pull out the Undying Demon Lord, he would probably be killed by the experts behind these geniuses. Anyway, the Undying Demon Lord's vitality was greatly damaged. He did not know how long he would be in seclusion. He had to calm these people down first. The experts present looked at each other, not knowing what to do. If Lu Ming was really the Undying Demon Lord's disciple, then his identity would be completely different. What little prince? That was not enough at all. To put it bluntly, the current Saint Devil dynasty was just struggling at death's door. They were in hiding, and their strength could not be compared to their peak in the past. Chapter 3266. All in all, the Saint Devil dynasty had placed all their hopes on the Undying Demon King. Moreover, the Undying Demon King was a terrifying existence. Even the so-called imperial family of the Saint Devil dynasty had to be respectful in front of the Undying Demon King. If Lu Ming was really the Undying Demon King's favorite disciple, it would be terrible. These people didn't dare to offend Lu Ming. When the Undying Demon King came out of seclusion, these people wouldn't be able to withstand a single slap from him. The experts present looked at each other, not knowing what to do at this moment. Then what are you going to do with them? Finally, someone asked, pointing at Lu Ming. Of course, his tone was much gentler. He didn't dare to shout at Lu Ming aggressively. He just asked Lu Ming how to deal with them. To be honest, these people have offended me. With my previous temper, I would have slapped them to death. Lu Ming spoke. However, as soon as he said this, not only the older generation powerhouses, but the elites under Lu Ming's feet were also shocked. Some of them were so scared that they almost peed in their pants. If not for the fact that they clamped their legs together tightly, they would have peed in their pants. Don't kill us. Save us. Save us. Some of them screamed, their faces pale and their bodies trembling. But, at this moment, Lu Ming's tone changed. But I'm in a good mood these days. I don't want to be stained with blood. I can spare them. Thank you so much, Lu Ming, young Master Lu Ming. Those experts were overjoyed. Before Lu Ming could finish, some of them had already cupped their fists to thank him. I haven't finished. Why are you in such a hurry? I said I wouldn't kill them, but I didn't say I would let them go. If you want to let them go, give me some treasures in exchange. Lu Ming waved his hand and said indifferently, treasures in exchange? What treasures does young Master Lu Ming need? Someone asked. It's simple. This kid is only in the first heaven of the Divine King realm. Give me 10 top-grade 5th level divine weapons. Lu Ming pointed at a young man and said, What? 10 top-grade 5th level divine artifacts? Why don't you just rob someone? The elder of the young man roared. Watch your words. What do you mean by snatch? That's so unpleasant to hear. We're all cultured people. Can't you be more elegant? I'll call it bartering, understand? Moreover, this brat is a prodigy. In the future, his cultivation will at least be able to mix in with peak Divine King. Who knows, he might even be lucky enough to charge into the Divine Lord realm. Could it be that he's not worth 10 top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts? If you think it's not worth it, then I'll kill him. Lu Ming said indifferently. Worth it, I'll trade. The elder of the young man gritted his teeth and agreed. His heart was filled with killing intent. If it weren't for his misgivings about Lu Ming's identity, he probably would have slapped Lu Ming to death. He has the cultivation base of the second sky of the King God realm, and he has 10 top-quality 7th level divine weapons. She has the cultivation base of the second sky of King God realm, and she's so beautiful. She has 10 top-quality 8th level divine weapons. Lu Ming pointed at the young men and women and named the price one by one. Although the elders of the young men were unwilling, they all agreed in the end. These young men were very talented. Although they weren't the strongest in their respective factions, they weren't far from it. They all had the potential to become divine lords in the future. In the end, they could only lower their heads and trade with Lu Ming. Because of Lu Ming's identity, they didn't dare to make a move. However, they were already cursing in their hearts. Especially when Lu Ming named the girls, he would add the word, I have pity, every time. However, when they saw the bruises on the faces of the young women, they couldn't bear to look at them. How could Lu Ming feel pity for them at all? They were so angry that their chests were stuffy. Alright, I've named the price. Let's exchange the money and exchange the goods. This guy, give me 10 top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts first. Lu Ming carried a young man as if he was carrying a chicken. The young man roared and bared his fangs and brandished his claws. He wanted to attack Lu Ming, but they were selling him like goods. He couldn't stand such humiliation. However, in the next moment, the young man immediately became obedient. He didn't dare to utter a word. This was because Lu Ming said flatly, if you scream like a pig being slaughtered again, I'll strip you naked and parade you through the streets. This sentence was extremely lethal. It wasn't just this young man. The other young men also became obedient. This was especially true for the girls. If that really happened, it would be worse than killing them. I'll give it to you. The elder of the young man in Lu Ming's hand tossed a storage ring to Lu Ming. Lu Ming caught it and scanned it with his spiritual sense. There were 10 top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts inside. Here. Lu Ming tossed the young man in his hand to the expert. Then, he continued to trade with another young man. Just like that, Lu Ming spent half an hour trading with all the young men. I've made a killing. I've made a killing. Lu Ming was overjoyed. There were more than 100 young men in total. All of them were at least in the first layer of the King God realm and above. They were all top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts. Lu Ming's divine artifacts were piled up like a mountain. He had really made a killing. Lu Ming had traded so many divine artifacts for Qiuqiu's sake. In the dozens of years since Lu Ming had arrived at the Saint Devil dynasty, Qiuqiu had finally advanced to the 5th layer of the King God realm. After reaching the 5th layer of the King God realm, Qiuqiu's appetite had increased greatly. The divine artifacts he ate were at least top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts or fragments of top-grade Tier 5 divine artifacts. The low-grade ones didn't have much effect. Lu Ming had a headache dealing with such a big appetite. Naturally, he had to seize this opportunity to give Qiuqiu some food. With these divine artifacts, Qiuqiu would be able to eat for a while. Looking at Lu Ming's beaming face, the experts gritted their teeth and trembled slightly. They couldn't wait to kill Lu Ming on the spot. However, they were really worried about the Undying Demon King. If Lu Ming was really the Undying Demon King's disciple, it would be a big deal. Even if he's the Demon King's disciple, it's not our place to make a move on him. However, the younger generation can. It's normal for the younger generation to be killed when they compete with each other. One of young Prince Feng Lu's uncles said coldly. Many people's eyes lit up when they heard that. That's right. Even if he's the Undying Demon King's disciple, the younger generation can still compete with each other. Some people were filled with killing intent. As for young Prince Feng Lu, he glared at Lu Ming and said, "Lad, do you think you are very powerful? Let me tell you, it's because the true geniuses here have all entered the Demon Palace to cultivate. Look at the time, some of them should be coming out soon. When that time comes, you'll die." There are more geniuses? Really? Lu Ming said, his eyes shining brightly. He was excited when he heard that. There are other geniuses? Great, I can suppress them and get some treasures. If others knew what he was thinking, they would probably vomit blood on the spot. Chapter 3267. There's news. My cousin, Tang Hao, will come out of seclusion in 3 days from the Demon Palace. He has announced that he will defeat Lu Ming and trample him under his feet. Suddenly, one of the young men shouted excitedly. What? Tang Hao is coming out of seclusion? Great, great. Tang Hao has been cultivating in the Demon Palace for 100 years. He must have awakened his origin secret skill. He will definitely be able to defeat this person. Great. This brat is finally going to be defeated. Let's see how long he can remain arrogant. The other young men were overjoyed when they heard the news. They seemed to be very confident in Tang Hao. Brat, my cousin, Tang Hao, has challenged you to a battle in 3 days. Do you dare to accept the challenge? A young man with a swollen face and a swollen nose looked arrogantly at Lu Ming and taunted him. Of course, I will accept the challenge. These are divine artifacts. No, let's see how arrogant he is. Lu Ming nodded immediately. He was very excited. He had almost blurted out his thoughts and exposed them. Also, I will wait for him here. Tell him to come to the Demon Sky Garden in 3 days. Lu Ming said. After saying that, Lu Ming found a seat and sat down. He poured himself a glass of wine and drank slowly. Just you wait, the young man said to Lu Ming. Then, some of the young men left to find a place to recuperate. At the same time, the news spread like a whirlwind. Firstly, Lu Ming had defeated young Prince Feng Lu and more than 100 other geniuses, which shocked many people. Later on, the news that Lu Ming was the disciple of the Undying Demon King shocked many people. When they found out that Tang Hao was coming out of the demonic palace to challenge Lu Ming 3 days later, more people gathered at the demonic sky garden to watch the battle. At this time, Lu Ming also learned about the situation from the others. More than 100 years ago, the Demon Palace, the cultivation sanctuary of the Saint Devil Dynasty, was opened. At that time, a grand event was held and all the geniuses of the Saint Devil Dynasty participated. In the end, the most outstanding geniuses were selected to enter the Demon Palace to cultivate. This cultivation lasted for 100 years. Lu Ming came to a realization. No wonder those geniuses from before were so weak. If the Saint Devil Dynasty were all like that, then the difference was too great. There was no way they could be compared to the Taishu Dynasty. It should be noted that the geniuses of the Taishu Dynasty were not limited to Lu Ming's group who had participated in the Taishu Imperial Academy. There was also the previous group of geniuses who could be considered as part of the younger generation. However, in terms of age, they were slightly older than Lu Ming's group. It turned out that the stronger geniuses of the Saint Devil Dynasty had entered the Devil Palace to cultivate. Lu Ming waited quietly. More and more people came to the Devil Sky Garden. The young men who were beaten up by Lu Ming had also recovered from their injuries and returned to the Devil Sky Garden. Tang Hao is here! Suddenly, someone exclaimed softly. The crowd automatically opened up a path, and a tall and sturdy young man stepped through the air. The young man was 2 meters tall. He had a buzz cut and bulging muscles like a wild beast. He gave people a strong sense of oppression. This was Tang Hao, the top genius of the younger generation of the Saint Devil dynasty. Boom! When Tang Hao landed on the ground, it was as if a mountain had crashed onto the ground, causing the ground to shake. You're Lu Ming? The Undying Demon King's disciple? Tang Hao stared at Lu Ming, his eyes glinting maliciously. That's right. Lu Ming replied indifferently. I don't believe it. The Undying Demon King is one of the strongest experts in the history of the Saint Devil dynasty. Why would he accept you as his disciple? If he were to accept someone, he would accept a genius from the Saint Devil dynasty. Tang Hao said, his eyes glinting maliciously. If you don't believe me, you can come and try. However, if I hit you too hard, I won't be responsible for your death. Lu Ming said indifferently, looking down on Tang Hao. This brat has such big words. He's really arrogant. That's right. Who is Tang Hao? He has reached the 3rd heaven of the King God realm a long time ago. Young Prince Feng Lu can't compare to him. This kid is so arrogant. He's asking for a beating. I really want to beat him up. Don't. I heard that he's the Undying Demon King's disciple. You're not from the younger generation. If you bully him, the Undying Demon King will bully you in the future. The people of the Saint Devil dynasty didn't like Lu Ming. However, they could only criticize him. No one dared to attack Lu Ming. Arrogant. I hope you have what it takes to be arrogant. Tang Hao's eyes glinted maliciously like a wild beast. Boom. He took a step forward. Demonic chi soared to the sky. His muscles bulged as he threw a punch at Lu Ming. The fist energy broke through the air, causing the void to shake violently. It formed a terrifying fist pressure that pressed down on Lu Ming. As soon as Tang Hao attacked, Lu Ming had a rough idea of Tang Hao's strength. Tang Hao was at the peak of the 3rd heaven of the King God realm. He had awakened the divine origin twice. However, Lu Ming didn't think much of Tang Hao's strength. Lu Ming released his divine origin power and threw a punch at Tang Hao. Fist against fist. Their fists were like 2 huge mountains clashing together. An intense explosion sounded out, and the resulting shock waves shot out in all directions, causing the surrounding people to continuously retreat. Then, a figure retreated continuously. He retreated more than 10 steps. Naturally, the person retreating was Tang Hao. With your strength, I can beat 100 of you. Lu Ming said disdainfully. Arrogant. Heavenly Demon's 3 transformations, Human Demon transformation. Tang Hao roared. His body began to emit a terrifying black light. Then, his body began to swell and his bones began to creak. In the next moment, scarlet bone spikes emerged from his body. They looked extremely ferocious. It's the Heavenly Demon's 3 transformations, Human Demon transformation. Tang Hao is finally using this move. The Heavenly Demon's 3 transformations is extremely powerful. However, only a few people can cultivate it successfully. Let's see how that kid deals with it. Many people exclaimed. They knew how terrifying this move was. Bang! Tang Hao stomped on the ground. His entire body shot towards Lu Ming like a cannonball. Then he threw a punch at Lu Ming. His power was much stronger than before. There was a scarlet bone spike in front of his fist. It was sharper than a sword. However, Lu Ming's attack was simple. He used his finger as a spear. Terrifying energy gathered at the tip of his finger. Then a spear light shot out. This spear light had gathered 10 different kinds of divine power and 10 kinds of divine power of the origin. Its power was extremely strong. Clang! The spear light collided with the bone spike on Tang Hao's fist. Then, Tang Hao's body shook uncontrollably. He was forced back again. How could this be? Many people couldn't believe it. Tang Hao had used the Heavenly Demon's 3 transformations, the Human Demon transformation. However, he still wasn't Lu Ming's opponent. Tang Hao was also shocked. His heart was in a perilous situation. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the second king god realm. In the entire Saint Devil dynasty, there were less than 3 people who had the same fighting strength. Do you still have any trump cards? Show me all of them. Lu Ming said indifferently. Chapter 3268. After exchanging a blow with Tang Hao, he realized that the heavenly demon's 3 transformations had a similar effect to the battle character art. It could instantly increase one's battle strength. However, even if Tang Hao's battle strength had increased, it was still not worth mentioning to Lu Ming. Lu Ming was much stronger than when he had participated in the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute. When he had participated in the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute, Lu Ming's cultivation base was only in the first king god realm. Now, he had reached the peak of the second king god realm. At that time, Lu Ming had 10 types of divine grade divine powers. Only the sovereign divine power had a second awakening. The other 7 types had a first awakening. The other 2 types had not even awakened. Now, all 10 types of divine powers had a second awakening. In addition, his divine skills and secret techniques had also improved greatly. His overall strength was much stronger than before. At that time, Lu Ming had needed to expend some effort to deal with a genius like Tang Hao. Now, he did not even need to use his ancient god body or secret technique of origin. Lu Ming did not immediately use his full strength to suppress Tang Hao because he was curious about the secret techniques and divine skills of the Saint Devil dynasty. He wanted to see what kind of secret techniques and divine skills his opponent had. Kid, you're really strong. However, I haven't used my full strength yet. Look at my strongest move, Demonic Mountain. Tang Hao roared. Demonic chi surged. Finally, a pitch-black demonic mountain appeared above his head. The demonic mountain was tall and heavy. Its aura was wild. An ancient and desolate aura burst out. This is secret technique of origin. Someone exclaimed. It's really the secret technique of origin. Tang Hao has really awakened the secret technique of origin after secluding himself in the demonic palace for 100 years. How terrifying. Once the secret technique of origin is used, he is invincible. That kid is going to lose. Many experts of the Saint Devil dynasty were excited. They felt that Tang Hao could finally suppress Lu Ming. He has awakened the secret technique of origin. Lu Ming's eyes moved. Tang Hao was not weak. At this level of strength, he could have entered the top 20 or even the top 10 during the Great Void Imperial Family's Holy Institute's Holy Institute. Interesting, the Divine Dragon Dharma Idol. Lu Ming growled, instantly activating the battle formula to quadruple his battle prowess. He punched out with both fists, and 2 claw divine dragons rushed out in succession. 2 huge 9-clawed dragons charged upwards and collided with the huge demon mountain. After 2 booms, the 2 claws shook violently and then exploded. You can't block my demon mountain. Suppress. Tang Hao hollered as he stood on top of the devil mountain like a devil lord. His aura was oppressive, and the devil chi in his body was constantly channeled into the devil mountain. The devil mountain continued to press down on Lu Ming. That kid is finally at a disadvantage. He's going to lose. Many people shouted excitedly, especially those Heaven's Prides who had been beaten up by Lu Ming. They shouted excitedly, hoping to see Lu Ming get beaten up by Tang Hao. Who told you that I was going to lose? I was just warming up. Watch carefully, Divine Dragon Dharma Idol. Lu Ming's disdainful voice rang out. Then his fists continuously blasted out. Dragon roars could be heard continuously as a vast dragon might erupted. Dragon chi boiled as 9-clawed divine dragons formed in the sky. 1, 2, 3. In the end, there were a total of 27 9-clawed dragons. In fact, Lu Ming could form 49 of them at once, but it wasn't necessary to deal with Tang Hao. 20 huge 9-clawed dragons pounced on the Devil Mountain one after another. It was a spectacular sight. 27 9-clawed dragons exploded consecutively. The force was so shocking that the Devil Mountain shook violently. On top of the Devil Mountain, Tang Hao's expression changed drastically. His body was trembling as if he was under great pressure. Boom. After a few breaths, the Devil Mountain couldn't take it anymore and exploded with a boom. Tang Hao gulped down a mouthful of blood and retreated rapidly. "Come back!" Lu Ming shouted as he soared into the sky. With a wave of his hand, a huge palm grabbed at Tang Hao. Tang Hao's origin secret technique was broken. He coughed up blood and retreated. It was difficult for him to form the Devil Mountain again. He could only use the Heavenly Devil Constipation technique to attack Lu Ming's huge hand. However, the 9 ice shackles silently flew out and coiled around Tang Hao. Then the ice shackles swung around and smashed Tang Hao heavily to the ground. Boom! The ground felt like it was smashed by a huge mountain. Tang Hao screamed as his bones cracked. He didn't know how many of them were broken. Swoosh! Lu Ming's figure moved and descended from the sky. He stepped on Tang Hao's body. Tang Hao screamed as he completely lost the ability to resist. The scene was silent. Fast, too fast. Just a moment ago, they thought that Tang Hao could suppress Lu Ming. Just when they were rejoicing, Lu Ming blasted out dozens of 9-clawed dragons and heavily injured Tang Hao. All of this happened in a few breaths. Tang Hao lost? Someone asked. His voice was hoarse and he still couldn't believe it. Tang Hao was a supreme talent who had awakened the origin secret technique. With such combat strength, he was defeated by Lu Ming, who was at a higher level. This was unbelievable. In the entire Saint Demon Imperial Court, there was only one person who could do this. Everyone thought to themselves. This guy said that he is the disciple of the Undying Demon King. Maybe it's true. Yes, with such talent, it's normal for the Undying Demon King to think highly of him. After this battle, many people believed that Lu Ming might really be the disciple of the Undying Demon King. With such talent, many experts would be envious and fight to take him in as their disciple. Others were shocked, but Lu Ming didn't think it was strange. Although Tang Hao was strong, he couldn't compare with Chu Chengkong, Yi Jifan, Su Wuya, and the others at the same level. He couldn't compare with Autumn Moon, let alone the unfathomable Di Jianyi. When the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Academy was held, Lu Ming could defeat him with his combat strength. Now, do you think I'm still arrogant? Lu Ming stepped on Tang Hao's body and looked down at him. You? Tang Hao was furious. He wanted to resist, but Lu Ming's foot was like a mountain, making it difficult for him to move. Don't move, or I'll strip you and parade you through the streets, Lu Ming said, and Tang Hao shut up. Lu Ming, let go of Tang Hao, a white-haired elder shouted. He was Tang Hao's elder. Tang Hao was the top supreme talent in this force. It was a great humiliation for him to be stepped on in public. I'll definitely release it, but it depends on what you want. Lu Ming smiled with a harmless expression on his face. Many people's faces twitched. Obviously, Lu Ming was going to ask for treasures again. You name a price. Tang Hao's elder had no choice but to ask. He couldn't do anything when he met someone like Lu Ming, who might be the disciple of the Undying Demon King. Chapter 3269. That's easy. I need some cold treasures. Bring me some cold treasures. Lu Ming said. This time, he needed some cold treasures to neutralize the energy of the stellar core. Cold treasures? I don't have any. I need to go back to my family to apply. The white-haired old man said. Go ahead. I'll wait here. Lu Ming said. He had no intention of letting Tang Hao go. The old man had no choice but to leave his family to apply for the cold treasures. Lu Ming didn't have to wait for long before the white-haired old man returned. This is the cold treasure you asked for. A pitch-black rock appeared in the white-haired old man's hand. As soon as he took it out, it radiated with a terrifyingly low temperature, causing the temperature to plummet to a shocking level. Even a few god kings who had just become god kings shivered. Good treasure! Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The stone's temperature was shockingly low. It was definitely one of the best cold treasures. It could definitely neutralize a large amount of energy from the stellar core. The white-haired old man threw the black stone to Lu Ming. A ray of light shot out from Lu Ming's glabella and the black stone disappeared. It had been swallowed by the quantifying character formula. This cold treasure is good. The energy it neutralizes is enough for you to break through to the fourth heaven of the Divine King realm. The quantifying character formula laughed. Lu Ming was also delighted. He grabbed Tang Hao and threw him to the white-haired old man. Here you go. If you have any other geniuses, feel free to look for me, Lu Ming said with a smile. In his opinion, those geniuses who had challenged him were all treasures. This guy, the others were speechless. They gritted their teeth when they saw Lu Ming's greedy look. Then, Lu Ming ignored them and sat down with his legs crossed. With the cold treasure, the quantifying character formula could refine the energy of the stellar core very quickly. Pure energy kept flowing into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming circulated the heaven and earth 10,000 Dao art and transformed the energy into divine power. Soon, there were not many people left in the vicinity of the demonic sky garden. Of course, there were still a few people who stayed nearby to observe, hoping that a stronger prodigy would appear to suppress Lu Ming. Time passed day by day. Lu Ming stayed in the Devil Sky Garden for an entire year. On this day, Lu Ming's body suddenly emitted a powerful fluctuation. But as soon as this fluctuation appeared, it was suppressed by Lu Ming. Third King God Realm. Lu Ming smiled. After 1 year of cultivation, he had used the extremely cold treasure to neutralize a large amount of energy from the nucleus of a star. Finally, he had broken through to the third sky of King God Realm. It was mainly because Lu Ming's cultivation base was at the peak of the second sky of King God Realm. He wasn't far from the third sky of King God Realm. That was why he could break through so quickly. As his cultivation base had reached the third sky of King God Realm, Lu Ming's competence had increased a lot. Old Liang, how much energy is left in the star nucleus? Lu Ming asked. When he had obtained the star nucleus from the early heavenly god realm, the energy from the star nucleus had helped him break through. Now that he had reached the third sky of King God Realm, he had consumed a large amount of energy. Lu Ming was worried about how much energy was left in the star nucleus. Based on the 10 types of divine power you have now, the remaining energy is enough for you to break through to the 7th sky of King God Realm. Liang Ju said, I can only reach the 7th sky of King God Realm? Lu Ming muttered, that's normal. Every time you break through, you consume more energy than others. The energy from the star nucleus is enough for an ordinary cultivator to break through to the 1st sky of King God Realm. But for you, you can only break through to the 7th sky of King God Realm. Liang Ju said. Lu Ming nodded helplessly. Back then, Long Zhoushan had wanted to use the star nucleus to restore Yulong's strength to its peak. It was obvious that the star nucleus contained a large amount of energy. Unfortunately, Lu Ming needed too much energy to break through. If there's a chance, I'll have to gather more resources. Otherwise, once the energy from the star nucleus is used up, my cultivation speed will be as slow as a tortoise's. Lu Ming thought to himself. He then continued to cultivate and consolidate his cultivation base. At this time, another piece of news came from outside the Devil Sky Garden. Another prodigy walked out of the Devil Palace. This time, there were 2 prodigies. Their strength and fame were above Tang Hao's. When the 2 prodigies found out about Lu Ming, they said that they would personally suppress Lu Ming. Their words caused a huge commotion. The area around the Devil Sky Garden became lively again. Many people gathered to see Lu Ming being suppressed. Lu Ming naturally noticed the change. Why is it so lively all of a sudden? Lu Ming ended his cultivation and looked around, feeling a little surprised. That was because there were many figures in the sky around him. He's here. Suddenly, someone exclaimed. Then, a figure stepped on the sky and landed on the courtyard where Lu Ming was. He did not bother to hide his powerful aura. It formed a mountain-like pressure that pressed down on Lu Ming. 4th layer Divine King Realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Song Lu, you're here early. However, this person is mine. At this time, a voice came from another direction. Before the voice died away, a red light flashed and a figure appeared in the sky above the courtyard. The figure was wearing a blood-red robe and was surrounded by blood-red demonic qi. It's the Blood Demon. Someone exclaimed. It's indeed Song Lu and the Blood Demon. Let's see how arrogant that kid is. That's right. Song Lu and the Blood Demon are much stronger than Tang Hao. They can easily suppress this person. Many people nearby were excited. They were eager to see the scene of Lu Ming being suppressed. However, Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. 2 more here. Very good. Lu Ming whispered. In his eyes, those 2 were not supreme talents but treasures. Blood Demon, I'm 1 step ahead of you. This person is mine. The young man who came first looked at the Blood Demon and said coldly. You came first, so he's yours? This person injured one of the supreme talents of the Blood Demon family and even took the opportunity to blackmail us. I must suppress him personally and make him kneel on the ground like a dead dog. The Blood Demon said. His eyes were filled with cold and murderous intent. You guys talk too much. Stop fighting. Come at me together. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was a little impatient and he shouted loudly. He wanted to get rid of those 2 as soon as possible so that he could exchange for treasures. Arrogant. Blood Demon kill. The Blood Demon bellowed furiously. Crimson light permeated the air. With a wave of his hand, a crimson light flew out and slashed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hand and a few 9-clawed dragon flew out and blocked the Blood Demon's blood-red light. Since you can defeat Tang Hao, you must have some ability. I'll let you have a taste of my infinite Blood Demon. The Blood Demon shouted and his strength was fully unleashed. Infinite blood-red light filled the air. Then, a sharp sound was heard. Blood-red shadows rushed out towards Lu Ming.